Here's the little project I have in the shop today, guys. This is actually the finished product. Thought it'd be nice to show you that before we get started. So if this is something that interests you, stay tuned. Hey guys, welcome back to the shop. I'm Chris with M7 Metalworks. Got a new project in the shop here today. A buddy of mine wants me to modify a hitch. Essentially, this hitch is going to be something that he mounts onto his tractor. And so I'm going to take a piece of plate steel. I'm going to weld it up to this and drill some holes. He's got me a little template here, which is more than most people would do for me when they want me to modify something. So it should be a simple little project. Just it's going to take some time, and there's a few little minor details we got to take care of. I'm going to first get started by cleaning up the edges here, because we're going to weld some gussets in here, and we're going to weld that plate steel on the back side after we drill it and do some things like that. So to get a good weld, we got to clean all this metal up. I'm going to do that now. I'll spare you the boring part of that. And so hopefully I'll get that done here shortly, and then we'll start into some stuff that's a little funner than cleaning up metal. It's raining here in Indiana today, and so I'm in a metal shop, and it's a little bit loud. So I'm kind of trying to talk loud as well so that you guys can hear me over some of the rain right now. So bear with me, and I apologize for any poor audio. Just finishing the back plate with the plasma cutter. Here I'm just finishing the aluminum cut with the plasma cutter. This will end up being a plate that he can step onto. I'm just setting the back plate up here, trying to get everything lined up right, so that when I tack it and get her welded, she'll be where it needs to be. And then here you see me cutting the gussets. These are going to be significant to help add strength to this project. And just a little cleanup just to get the mill scale off, as well as the slag from the plasma cutter. I've sped this up just a bit, just so that it's not too monotonous and boring, but obviously considerable amount of welding here.
using the MIG welder. Okay, so I'm grinding my welds flat here because this is the part that's going to be bolted to the machine part of that tractor on the front end, and so I don't want the welds holding the hitch itself out and away from the tractor. And then here you're seeing me doing just a little bit of TIG welding, and that's because I had some undercut, and so I wanted to fix that, as well as just kind of clean some areas up so that it was more presentable.
Well, we've got another project wrapped up here. So just to try to summarize a little bit, I've welded this plate to this hitch. This is just a cheap Chinese hitch that a buddy of mine got. I think he got it at Harbor Freight. Welded a couple gussets in here as well. I've got welds all on the inside, and then I've got welds on the outside on both sides. And those gussets, of course, will give it strength. This side will bolt to a tractor, and then he'll be able to put a winch right in through the receiver here. And actually he gave me a little bit of aluminum plate that I cut to size. And so what he's eventually going to do, he's going to powder coat this. I've tried to clean these welds up pretty good. I normally don't do that on a typical weld job, but this is kind of a pretty tractor, and so he's eventually going to have this tractor fully restored, I think, at some point. He's going to end up powder coating it, sandblasting it and powder coating it. So I went ahead and cleaned up my welds. I actually TIG welded a few of these welds. I went over my MIG with a little bit of TIG just because I had some undercut. So I wanted to kind of just let that metal flow in. I didn't get too detailed into that. I think I snapped one photo of it. The aluminum plate will go on top once it's all said and done, and that'll allow him a stepping plate at the front of his tractor. And so I kind of hope everybody can get a good idea of kind of maybe what that's going to look like. This is on an old Oliver 550 or Super 55, I think. So that's kind of the way that's going to go. I had to make sure this area was flat because this is going to mount there eventually. And of course the plate's got a little bit of warp in it already, and it had that prior to me welding. And then the back is going to, I wanted to make sure my weld stayed flat on the back as well, because that obviously is going to bolt right to the tractor, to the front of that tractor. And that's a machined steel, cast steel in the front, I believe. If you enjoyed this, just a little modification of a Reese type hitch. Well, I'm Chris with M7 Metalworks. Thank you for watching another project here in the shop. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment if you'd like. I do try to read those comments. It's difficult, guys, so don't get too upset if I don't reply. I do definitely try when I can, but it's very busy here at the house. So anyways, thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Till next time.
Here's some final shots of the finished product. And then here's a shot of the piece actually mounted to the tractor. Thanks for watching, guys. Until the next video.